We're different people. So Floyd he likes glam. He's very glamorous, and this is what he liked. And I was very savage. I wasn't that savage, dark, malevolent aura. You know, I was just never the fly, slick black fighter. You know, I was just very serious, and I was just very hard and mean.
And then when I see it's a chance for me to do a heist, a quick heist, I'm gonna let y'all know this. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. At the end of the day, I'm the smart one.
I'm happy for Mike Tyson from the standpoint that he went to 8 rounds. He didn't get knocked out. I'm happy for Mike Tyson because he got $20 million reportedly to Jake Paul's $40 million. I'm happy for Mike Tyson because he left with all his faculties in order. He got to fight in front of his children who may have never seen him fight before. And that crowd and that ovation and the love and adulation that was thrown in his direction when he was introduced was obviously special for him, and it was special for the people who love him, including all the fight fans the world over, because anybody that loved boxing absolutely positively loved watching Mike.
Toe-to-toe 8 rounds with the greatest boxer of all time. What do you think happens if you fight Floyd Mayweather?
I would knock him out.
Bro.
100%.
Don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous.
You think because you lost a fight to Floyd Mayweather that you're better than me at boxing?
You said I won the fight.
In person, when I was watching it, I thought so. But then, yeah, watching it back, it's like, okay, I've had like a biased point of view, like sitting there in person.
This is the first time I've heard you say that.
Where's the $1 million outfit? Because I've never seen an outfit like that.
It's crazy. It's in the locker room right now, but I think we're going to try and put it somewhere like to showcase it. But shout out to the shoe surgeon, Alec Monopoly, and Pascal for all making it happen. 380 carats, over $1 million.
One last thing. I love Mike Tyson like family. You love Mike. What do you tell him? Like, obviously, he's bummed out. He wanted to win.
Hey, bro, he's amazing. No one cares about the loss for him. He got to cement his legacy, make a bunch of money, and have fun doing it. You know, so that's all that matters.
Jake, what's the biggest thing you took from the Mike fight? Biggest learning lesson?
Man, I just felt so mentally like focused and locked in. There was like no nerves, no adrenaline.
Was there a single moment in this fight where Jake Paul was in any form of trouble? The only punch Tyson landed was the slap yesterday. I mean, Mike looked old as hell. He was not throwing back. He looked like he was on stilts. I didn't see his knees bend at all. And the constant biting of the gloves? Could anyone tell me what that was all?
Jake Paul, the boxer, is much better than people want to give him credit for. But I don't know that this does anything for that, because he fought a 58-year-old man. He fought a 58-year-old man to a decision. That 58-year-old man comes out on the other side looking pretty good, if you ask me. He looked like you would expect a 58-year-old man to look in a professional boxing match, to their credit.
He sucks, or, oh, he carried him, and more on that in a moment. The only result that I think people truly would have been happy with is a Mike Tyson knockout of Jake Paul. I think that's the only one that would have sufficed, and that wasn't happening. There was never really any doubt. He landed a couple punches early on, but there was never really a question as to whether or not that would happen. I think Jake carried him. I think Jake didn't want to knock him out. I'm not sure if he could have, but he definitely took his foot off the gas last couple rounds for sure. And ultimately, I'm okay with that. I predicted a Jake Paul decision. I thought it would be a little bit more competitive to get to the decision, but ultimately I'm okay with that. I am surprised he didn't call out Canelo afterwards or someone else. I'm not suggesting that should be the fight or that he can beat him or anything like that, but it seemed to be like that was the thing on his mind.
The world of boxing has never been one to shy away from controversy. From the brutal, raw spectacles of Muhammad Ali's iconic bouts to the iron-fisted dominance of Mike Tyson, the sport has long been a battleground where legends are made and rivalries fuel the fire of the audience's collective imagination. But in recent years, a new phenomenon has begun to rise, one that seems to blur the line between genuine athleticism and media spectacle, and it's been enough to send shockwaves through the sport. We're talking about none other than Jake Paul. the YouTube sensation turned boxer and the titanic clash between two boxing icons, Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather.
One thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he, and Floyd, there were many people who believe you're the most talented fighter ever, period. So whatever you say to this question, I think is important. Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability, or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents, or is he actually talented?
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter, a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
In a time when boxing's very identity has been questioned, with increasing numbers of celebrity matches capturing the headlines, the clash between these larger-than-life figures, Paul, Tyson, and Mayweather, has become a microcosm of the battles between traditional values and the new age of sports entertainment. But did we truly witness a clash of titans, or was it all just a spectacle, carefully scripted and choreographed for maximum impact? And what do these events mean for the future of boxing?
Like, Floyd's a great fighter, don't get me wrong. Yeah. He had 50 fights, and he said, listen, Sugar Ray Robinson had 47 fights. He lost one, then he had 78 fights. Then he had a 78-fight winning streak.
Yeah, but you even
he had 47, lost one, then 78 winning streak.
But even more modern than that.
This is the story of how three men, each with a distinct approach to the sport, faced off, both in the ring and in the public eye. The rise of Jake Paul, entertainer or real boxer. Jake Paul may have started his career as a YouTube star, known for his outlandish antics and pranks. But in recent years, he has made a name for himself in the boxing ring, attracting both fans and critics with his brash persona and shock value marketing.
Everyone is talking about how staged this fight was. I do believe it was scripted, and I believe that Tyson was certainly held back. Look, I'm a fighter, and I can see.
From the very beginning, his foray into boxing was met with skepticism. After all, how could someone who made his fortune on the internet compete against real boxers? But Paul, ever the showman, embraced the role of the underdog, and what began as a joke quickly turned into a legitimate career, or at least a career in the eyes of millions of his followers.
He was 89, 90 and 0 before he lost.
89 and 0. Wow. So
don't tell me about you the greatest fighter with 50 and 0, nigga. You're great, no doubt about it, nigga. 50 and 0. Chavez had 90.
Yeah.
He's fighting like what, 8 times a year.
Yeah, it's more to it than
whoever
that.
Fought him. Whoever's in the ranking.
Well, I think it's all subjective.
Picking whoever you are, come on.
It was clear that Jake Paul wasn't just interested in the spotlight, he was interested in the challenge. He faced a series of opponents, fellow YouTubers, former MFA fighters, and eventually the seasoned boxers.
Goes on the record, and it was sanctioned. So Jake Paul paid to get the W on his record? Bruh. For what? For your own personal satisfaction? Bruh. I keep telling you, if you want to be a real fighter, like you say you want to be, what are you doing?
Shit, I don't even know.
Like, who's next? Joe Biden?
Each fight designed to raise the stakes and draw more attention. His wins were often accompanied by mixed reactions from boxing purists who dismissed him as nothing more than a money grab for the sport. But Jake Paul's success was undeniable.
He want to sit down on a podcast one time, and he talked about it. He said, I don't want to do an exhibition against Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. He said, I'm only doing real fights. And of course, I can't get up high in weight, but I'll fight him in a real fight at the weight that I'm at. But Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
His ability to sell a fight, to create controversy, and to capture the public's attention made him a formidable force in the world of combat sports. But the question remained, was Jake Paul a boxer, or was he simply a marketing genius, using the sport to further his fame? Jake Paul was determined to prove he wasn't just an entertainer, he was a serious fighter, and when the opportunity arose for him to face off against one of boxing's most legendary figures, Mike Tyson, he saw it as his moment to solidify his legacy. But Could he really take on a fighter as fearsome as Tyson, even in the twilight of his career? The return of Mike Tyson legacy or cash grab?
Largest event in the history of boxing. I think we can all agree, especially the purist boxing fans, that Mike Tyson is the reason that this event is as big as it is. 21 years old, he made history in boxing. 58 years old, he's made history in boxing. And throughout his entire life, he's been the focal point and the living legend here of boxing. I mean, that doesn't take away anything from what Jake Paul has brought, but you need a dance partner, and there isn't one as big as Mike Tyson. We're very proud of, I think I can, on behalf of head coach Billy White, Coach Raphael, that we're very proud of Mike's his determination throughout camp. I mean, we all remember Mike Tyson, especially if you guys are our age. And of course, we've been with Billy for 45 years. You remember him as the killer, the menace, and you get to see the pads and you see, just how amazing he is.
Mike Tyson's name is synonymous with raw power, relentless aggression, and the aura of invincibility. He was once the youngest heavyweight champion in history, and his reign in the 1980s was nothing short of legendary. But time had passed, and Tyson, now 58 years old, had long since retired from professional boxing. His last reign as champion had ended in the early 2000s, and the boxing world had changed. But Tyson's impact on the sport remained undiminished. Fans still remembered the ferocity with which he had terrorized opponents in the ring, his brutal knockouts, and his sheer dominance. In 2023, Tyson made the bold decision to step back into the ring for an exhibition match against Jake Paul. For many, this was a thrilling opportunity to see one of the sport's all-time greats in action once again, but for others, it was a disheartening sight, a legend tarnishing his legacy by participating in a spectacle rather than a serious contest. Tyson, however, remained firm in his belief that this was more than just a money grab. He wanted to prove that even at his age, he could still compete at a high level. The fight between Tyson and Paul, though, was not without its controversies. Questions began to swirl about Tyson's motives. Was this truly a competitive bout? Or had Tyson agreed to a scripted fight, a performance designed to entertain rather than challenge? For some, the idea of Tyson facing an opponent like Jake Paul, one who was far younger yet untested against elite fighters, was absurd. Could Tyson really still pack a punch, or was this a calculated move for a paycheck? The controversy surrounding the match escalated when allegations surfaced that the fight had been rigged, or at the very least, controlled in some way. Critics pointed out Tyson's hesitance in the ring, suggesting that he had been deliberately holding back to ensure that Paul walked away with the victory. Tyson himself denied the claims, stating that his decision to fight was about proving something to himself and the fans, that he still had the spirit of a fighter. Floyd Mayweather / the defender of boxing's legacy. Amidst the rising chaos, one figure stood out as both a defender of boxing's integrity and a critic of the spectacle surrounding celebrity boxing matches: Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather, the undefeated former champion with a perfect 50-0 record, had long been a dominant figure in the sport. Known for his technical mastery, defensive genius, and ability to win without taking unnecessary risks, Mayweather was often regarded as one of the greatest boxers in history. When Mayweather first commented on the Tyson-Paul bout, he made his stance clear. Celebrity boxing, in his view, was an affront to the sport's legitimacy. He had spent years perfecting his craft and facing some of the toughest opponents in the world. To see someone like Jake Paul, with no real boxing background, get the kind of opportunities he was receiving rubbed Mayweather the wrong way. For him, boxing was about more than just the money. It was about the respect and honor of the sport itself. Mayweather was particularly vocal in his criticism of Jake Paul, calling out the young star for taking easy fights against opponents who were far removed from the caliber of top-tier boxers. He argued that Paul's success was built on spectacle, not skill. For Mayweather, the true test of a boxer's abilities came when they faced real competition that Paul had yet to encounter. In the lead up to the Tyson-Paul fight, Mayweather's comments stoked tensions between the two camps. Tyson, however, took a different approach. He defended his participation in the event, asserting that it was not about money, but about proving something to himself and